Thank you, Denny, and I applaud your endurance, and the day is still young.
Yes,
About
thank you.
6 weeks ago, the governor held a press conference and released a paper on positions, and the press conference was down in Stony Brook, Long Island, which I attended with some of my colleagues. And what he announced is the formation of a commission called the Water Quality Rapid Response Team. And that was formed to deal with the cleanup of the Grumman Navy contamination, our groundwater in Bethpage, Long Island, contamination of the potable water in Hoosick Falls, and issues elsewhere around the state that contaminate and threaten our lives, our health, our safety. Can you tell me if there is any financial resources in this bill, in this budget, that correspond with the with what was announced at that press conference?
Anybody have one?
There's no specific funding, but there's a lot of funding.
There's no money there for specifically what you mentioned, but there's a lot of money out there that was created for things like that. But it didn't have its name on it.
So by supporting this piece of legislation, will we be assured that the millions of dollars that was spoken about at that time will be allocated and will begin the cleanups of these very contaminated sites?
Yeah. We think that this I'll have a better answer when the capital program comes and we do that. It will be in there, or it will not be in there.
Will we see more funding now or during the year through this budget to assist with these very expensive cleanups and remediations? When we look at the Grumman Navy contamination, we're looking at $70 million to build the facility to get that started, and we know that this is something that the governor and so many of the members of the state legislature are behind. We know how dangerous this is as the largest and most contaminated site in a sole source aquifer anywhere in the nation. Can we count on some of the money needed to get this process started so we can finally deliver relief to the residents and to the future generations who will be drinking that water?
I know something will be done. I think we may even get some of it and know about it later when we get the other bill. But if the governor made a commitment, I think he'll keep it.
And final question, the water districts on Long Island have been asking for the resources so they can appropriately test the water, so we can assure our residents, their children, their great-grandchildren, that we will clean up our water and that they're not creating situations as we've seen in Flint, Michigan.
Yes, because we've put money into making sure we work at that.
Thank you. On the bill?
On the bill, Mr. Saladino.
So many people for years have heard me speak of the Grumman Navy contamination in Bethpage. We see situations currently going on just now in surface water that needs to be remediated in West Islip, in Babylon, across Nassau and Suffolk County, and quite frankly across the state. All of our districts know of problems that have to be remediated and that we must address this quickly. So I'm happy that we're moving in that direction, but it's still not enough, and it's certainly not fast enough. The plume in Bethpage has been going on since the 1940s. We've discovered it in the 1980s, and we still don't have a plan in place. This legislature passed legislation 2 years ago that the governor signed into law, and yet no plan has been delivered to us yet, no groundbreaking, and no structure to begin the hydraulic containment of that contamination. So this is something that's got to be done, and all of the sites across Long Island and this site need the highest priority to be cleaned up. I appreciate the opportunity to advocate for the health of the constituents I represent and the constituents across this state.